Quarters scattered across the checkout counter like silver tears. The baby formula price glowed red on the scanner. Every shopper behind her seemed to be watching silently. Rowan Ilara Winslow's hands trembled as she counted the coins for the third time. Her 6-month-old son, Silas Orion, fussed against her shoulder, his tiny body warm and hungry. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting harsh shadows across her tired face. $22.75, she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible. The can of formula cost $23.47, 72 cents short. The same amount she had spent on bus fare to get here. Behind her, the line grew restless. An older woman shifted her weight impatiently, while a middle-aged man checked his watch with an audible sigh. But it was the whispered conversation between two women that cut deepest. "Can you believe she is so broke she cannot even buy baby formula?" one woman murmured to her friend, not bothering to lower her voice enough. "Some people should think before having children they cannot afford," came the harsh reply. Rowan's cheeks burned with humiliation. She clutched Silas tighter, feeling his little fingers grip her worn sweater. 2 months ago, she had been a wife with a future. Now she was a cautionary tale whispered about in grocery store lines. Tyler Morrison, the 17-year-old cashier, watched the scene unfold with growing distress. His young face showed the conflict between wanting to help and being bound by store policy. His hands fidgeted with the scanner as he searched for words. "Ma'am, maybe you could put something back?" Tyler asked softly, his voice cracking slightly. The question hung in the air like a weight neither of them wanted to carry. Rowan looked down at the single can of formula. There was nothing else to put back. This was it, her last hope for feeding her son tonight. "I understand," she said steadily, her voice steadied despite the tears threatening to spill. "I will come back tomorrow." But tomorrow felt like a lifetime away when your baby was hungry now. Standing 3 people behind her in line, Cassian Vale Whitmore watched the scene with recognition that pierced his chest like a blade. The 36-year-old billionaire CEO had stopped at Miller's Market on impulse, needing milk for his morning coffee. His tailored navy suit and polished Italian shoes marked him as someone who belonged in boardrooms, not neighborhood grocery stores. But 28 years ago, he had been that hungry child. His mother, Elena, had stood in a similar line, counting food stamps with shaking hands while other customers whispered and judged. He remembered the weight of her tears falling onto his small shoulders as she carried him home empty-handed. That night had changed everything. A stranger, an older man in a simple work shirt, had stepped forward and paid for our groceries. As he handed Elena his card, he had whispered words that became the foundation of Cassian's life. "When you are able to, pay it forward." Now, watching Rowan begin to gather her quarters with quiet dignity, Cassian felt that stranger's presence as clearly as if he were standing beside him. "Excuse me," Cassian said, his voice cutting through the tension like a lifeline. He stepped forward, his presence commanding immediate attention. "Put it on my card." Rowan turned around, startled. Through her tears, she saw a man who seemed to belong to a different world entirely. His dark hair was perfectly styled, his suit probably worth more than she made in 6 months. A gold watch caught the harsh store lights, and everything about him spoke of success she could barely imagine. "Oh no, sir, I cannot accept that," Rowan said, her voice thick with emotion, but firm with pride. "Thank you, but I will manage somehow." Cassian's expression softened, and Tyler found himself leaning forward to hear every word. 28 years ago, my mother stood exactly where you are standing. She was counting food stamps while my baby sister cried from hunger. A stranger helped us that day. He told my mother to pay it forward when she could. He handed Tyler his platinum card, and to his young hands shook slightly as he accepted it. Please put the formula on my card and add whatever else this lady needs. Rowan's composure finally cracked. Tears spilled down her cheeks as she clutched Silas closer. Sir, I don't even know your name. Cassian Whitmore, he said, extending his hand with genuine warmth. And you don't need to know anything else about me. We all need help sometimes. There is no shame in that. I'm Rowan Winslow, and this is my son Silas, she managed, accepting his handshake with trembling fingers. I promise you, I will pay this kindness forward someday. The transaction completed with a soft beep. Tyler handed Rowan the bag, his young face bright with relief and something approaching joy. The receipt showed that Cassian had also paid for a loaf of bread and jar of peanut butter she had been eyeing earlier but could not afford. Sir, you paid for the bread too? Rowan asked, her voice breaking completely now. Growing boys need their mothers to eat as well, Cassian said simply, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Behind them, the grocery line had fallen completely silent. The woman who had whispered cruel words earlier now stared at her shoes, her face flushed with shame. Even the impatient man seemed subdued, checking his phone instead of his watch. As they walked toward the exit together, Cassian pulled a business card from his jacket pocket. Mrs. Winslow, Whitmore Industries is always looking for dedicated people. We have on-site childcare and excellent benefits. If you would like a fresh start, call my assistant tomorrow morning. Rowan stared at the embossed card, hardly able to process what she was reading. Whitmore Industries was the largest employer in their city, known for treating employees like family. Mr. Whitmore, I only have a high school diploma, she said quietly, her voice filled with doubt. Some of our most valuable employees started exactly where you are right now. Determination and heart matter more than any piece of paper. I learned that from my mother, who went on to become head nurse at Children's Hospital after that stranger helped us. Outside, under the parking lot lights, Rowan shifted Silas to her other arm. The baby had fallen asleep, peaceful now in the security of her mother's embrace. Mr. Whitmore, why would you do this for a complete stranger? She asked, her voice full of wonder. Cassian looked up at the stars barely visible through the city's glow. Because kindness is never wasted, Mrs. Winslow. That stranger who helped my family that night did not just buy us groceries. He gave my mother hope when she had lost everything else. He showed me that success means nothing if you cannot lift others up with you. His voice grew softer, more personal. And because when I saw you standing there, counting those quarters with such dignity, I saw my mother. I saw the quiet strength it takes to keep going when everything seemed impossible. Rowan wiped her eyes with her free hand, careful not to wake Silas. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. You already have, Cassian said with a gentle smile. You reminded me why success matters, not for what it can buy, but for what it can give to others. As Cassian drove home to his penthouse apartment, he thought about the unexpected gift he had received that evening. In helping Rowan, he had honored the stranger who once helped his family. The circle was complete, but somehow he knew it was just beginning. 6 months later, Rowan would become Whitmore Industries' head of community relations, her natural empathy making her invaluable. Every holiday season, she would quietly pay for groceries for struggling families at Miller's Market, always leaving the same message: pay it forward when you can. But that night, walking to the bus stop with hope renewed in her heart and her son sleeping peacefully in her arms, Rowan understood something profound. Kindness was not just about the help received or given. It was about recognizing that we are all connected by the same fundamental needs: dignity, hope, and the knowledge that someone cares enough to reach out when we are falling. The quarters in her pocket no longer jingled with the sound of desperation. They sang softly of possibility, of second chances, and of the beautiful truth that sometimes, when we least expect it, angels appear in grocery store lines, wearing expensive suits and carrying platinum cards, reminding us that we are never truly alone.